1974, a psychologist named Arthur Aaron ran an experiment. He sent men across two different bridges. One was a solid, boring concrete bridge over a small stream. The other was a terrifying suspension bridge, swinging 230 feet above a rocky canyon, shaking with every step. On both bridges, an attractive woman stopped men, asked them to fill out a survey, and handed them her number. Call me if you want to talk more. The men from the scary bridge? Almost all of them called. The men from the safe bridge? Almost none did. And here's the part that nobody talks about. Those men didn't call because they were confident. They called because their hearts were pounding from the bridge, and their brains quietly told them that feeling is because of her. They confused fear for love, and before you go booking a skydiving date, that's not the point. The point is this: human beings are genuinely terrible at understanding why they feel what they feel, which means love is not what you think it is. And if you've ever wondered why the guy who treats her carelessly somehow stays on her mind, while you, who remembered every small thing she ever mentioned, who checked in every single day, who never missed a moment, ended up being told, honestly, you're like a brother to me, it's not because life is unfair. It's because you misunderstood the actual mechanics of how a woman falls in love. And I'm going to explain it today. I spent a lot of time going through the actual research on this: attachment theory, social psychology, arousal studies, and I compressed all of it into one sentence. She doesn't fall in love with you. She falls in love with the story she tells herself about you. Read that again slowly. Late at night, when you're not there, she's replaying conversations, noticing patterns, constructing a narrative, and she falls for that narrative, not for you, not yet. Your entire job is to give her good material to build that story with. That's it. That's the whole framework. Everything else flows from this. So what does good material actually look like? Here's where it gets uncomfortable. 99% of men walk into an interaction with one question running in their head. How do I impress her? Wrong question. Catastrophically wrong. The right question is, how do I make her feel impressive? There's a concept in psychology called the spotlight effect. We all believe we are being watched and evaluated far more than we actually are. Everyone, without exception, is the main character of their own internal movie. So when you spend 45 minutes in a conversation listing your ambitions, your plans, your achievements, you've just made yourself the main character of her movie. She's an extra. And nobody falls in love with a movie where they're an extra. But if you ask her something real, not, what do you do, but what's something you can't stop thinking about lately? Suddenly, she's the protagonist. You're just the person who noticed she had a story worth asking about. Men who are naturally good at this don't have better looks or more money. They're just genuinely more interested in other people than they are in themselves. That's the whole secret. It's almost embarrassing how simple it is. Second thing. In this one, men almost always get completely backwards. Vulnerability is not weakness, but men treat it like it's a live grenade. Brené Brown's research on emotional intimacy found one consistent truth. Real closeness, the kind that makes love actually stick, is built almost entirely through vulnerability. But here's the specific mistake men make. They confuse vulnerability with oversharing. Vulnerability is not telling her about your childhood trauma on the second date. It's not dramatic confessions at 2 a.m. It's saying, quietly and honestly, I'm actually a little nervous right now. It's saying, that thing you said yesterday, I kept thinking about it. It's saying, I don't know, what do you think? Small, specific, real. And when a man does this, in a world that has trained men since birth to perform strength and certainty at all times, it is genuinely shocking to a woman because she has never seen it before, not once. And the story she tells herself after? Completely different from every other man she's ever met. Third insight. This is the one that will actually sting. Most men are not in love with a specific woman. They are in love with the idea of being chosen. Think about it honestly. You meet someone. She's attractive. You start pursuing. The more she doesn't respond, the more obsessed you become. You're checking your phone every 20 minutes. Is that love, or is that your ego reacting to the possibility of rejection? Because here's what happens for a lot of men the moment she finally says yes. The interest quietly drops. Because it was never about her, it was about winning. And she can feel this. Not always consciously, but she feels it. This is also why the nice guy approach fails, and not for the reason most people assume. Women don't dislike kind men. They are deeply drawn to genuine kindness. It fails because the nice guy is not actually being kind. He's running a transaction. He's being considerate in exchange for love. She never agreed to that transaction. She didn't even know it existed. And when she doesn't pay, when she doesn't fall for him, he feels cheated. And that anger, even when hidden, tells her everything she needs to know. Real attraction comes from a man who is genuinely choosing her, not a girlfriend, not someone who said yes, her, this specific person, these specific things about her. She can tell the difference. Every time. So the old script most men follow is impress her, she likes you, relationship happens. Here's what actually works. She feels seen, she builds a story, she falls. And there are 3 things that make this happen. The first is asking questions nobody else asks. Not, where are you from? Not, what do you do? Try, what part of your life are you most proud of that no one ever asks about? Or, if you could be wrong about one belief you hold, which one would you actually want to be wrong about? These questions do something no pickup line can. They make her think, and people feel drawn to whoever makes them think. The second thing is noticing the specific things. Not, you're beautiful. She's heard that thousands of times, and honestly, it's about you, not her. Instead, notice she always picks the seat facing the door. Notice she redirects the conversation when someone mentions a particular topic. Notice the way she laughs at her own jokes before she even finishes telling them. And then tell her you noticed. That specificity is what no one else offers. The third thing is letting her see you be real. Not impressive, not polished, real. Admit one small thing that's true about you and slightly embarrassing. Watch the entire dynamic shift in real time. Arthur Aaron, the bridge study guy, did another experiment later in his career. He gave 2 strangers a list of 36 questions, each one more personal than the last. At the end, they stared into each other's eyes for 4 minutes in silence. 2 of the participants ended up getting married. Not because they were perfect for each other on paper, because they saw each other completely, without the usual armor people wear. That's what love actually is, being fully seen by someone and not running. So stop perfecting your opening line. Stop tracking how long she takes to reply. Stop reading about confidence tricks and dominant body language. Just become the person who makes her feel like the most interesting human being in the room, and let her write the rest of the story herself. Okay, that's more than enough emotional damage for one video. If any of this hit differently than you expected, the subscribe button is right there. I won't beg, but I will remember you didn't and think about it occasionally.